Hello everybody, welcome back. Christian Shreve, bestboxingbets.com. I'm also the author of Money Boxing. You know, now that our rating over an extended period of time has gone from 91% up, people are paying a lot more attention. And I was asked yesterday if I would explain how it is that I pick underdog fighters. You know, you can win a lot. You can just say, I'm going to pick the favorite every time. Well, you can do that 10 times in a row. You can bet 100 and win $7 over and over and over again. You get one wrong, all your profit's gone. It's not enough to win in numbers, folks. You need a successful return on investment. If you're 2-2 over the weekend, which a lot of people are doing, but you've lost $45, I don't consider that successful. It has to be all of them. You have to be getting a solid rate of return. Your numbers have to be up, and you're not taking stupid chances. And obviously the people watching this have no intention of doing that. I salute you. Hey, I don't care if they're underdogs or not. I don't look at that. I don't factor it in. I may do it if it's so big that I'm going to get 50 cents back if I do $100, or $5 back if I do 1,000. But free money's free money. Now look, those of you who haven't picked up my book, well, I don't know. How much money has that cost you over the last 6 months? Let's deal with one underdog pick that I made that other people know enough about that they can relate to the players. We had a light heavyweight fight recently, not too recently, but pretty recently, where Bernard Hopkins at 48 years of age took on DeVoris Cloud. And Cloud was the favorite, no question about it. You look at this guy, you see, this is a fighter. Man, his build, talk about an Adonis build. Solid, tough-looking, mean-looking guy. He's going to go in and he's going to smash you. Man, as soon as I found out that those two had signed, it was over. It was over. I got on the bandwagon with Hopkins immediately, and I didn't pay any attention to the odds. I really didn't care, because I knew what was going to happen. I knew it was going to happen, and you probably did too. So what was it? What was it? Hopkins is a counterfighter. What does that mean? In his mind, he has a natural tendency. You know, everybody has a natural tendency. Some rush in where angels fear to tread, and some are like Will Smith said in his old show, a good run's better than a bad stand any day. It just depends. Well, Hopkins, he's going to move around, he's going to posture. He's going to get himself in a position where he can do what he wants to do. And if you try to engage him dead on, he's going to dervish. Do you know what a dervish is? They're these spiritual people. They dance like this and they spin. And that's what he does. He pirouettes off of your power. He never engages you when you want to engage him. And he will take away your top weapon from you and then wear you down. We've seen it over and over again. You know, Tarver was big, was strong. He didn't stand a chance because he could not keep Hopkins from controlling when the exchanges happened, where they happened, and how they happened. Now, that's an advanced skill, but let's talk about what's simple. Just like in money boxing. A clap. From the time a guy decides to hit another guy to the time he lands it, how many times can you clap? Well, with Hopkins isn't that fast. He's not doing that. You'll get 1, 2. You can get 3 or 4 of these claps in the clapping game off to DeVoris Cloud. What do you get? He gets out there, his elbows go out. Well, what does that mean? That means for full extension, he has to go here and realign so the tendons can allow him that full swing. It's hard to do. It is hard to do. So what happens? It's telegraphed. It's telegraphed. And although he has massive power, I don't see proper utilization of it. What do I mean by that? Well, if you take your hand right now, and you can put it here, you can put it against the wall, and you push with your hand out by your shoulder, which is where most people come off the rear side, it'll push your body back. You see people in street fights using gross motor movements, whack, and they'll hit, and their body will go back. It's because of alignment issue. If you have your power aimed out of your own center, whether you start for here, uppercut, cross, whatever you have, if your line of reference is down the middle of your own body, you can go like that, and the alignment in your body just mechanically lines up, and you can exert with a lot more force, but also it is harder to see coming because we have eyes on the front of our head. You know, if we were a different animal, we had them on the side, it'd be a different game plan. But we're looking straight ahead, and you can't sometimes see when that is going to come out at you. Cloud, if somebody were to say, elbows in, we're reworking your power structure, you couldn't see where that happened. He got an extra 20-30% off those shots by correcting his fundamental structure flaws. Man, you have a dangerous athlete. But he didn't, and so he was slow. He was slow when he had an angle where Hopkins couldn't choose to engage and choose to clinch. Because, man, it's the same with dance. Birdie elbows, out elbows are bad. And that's what you saw from him. You saw this ponderous type motion moving into this desperation in the middle rounds. And if you can't fire fast and take control, like Chad Dawson did against him, you can't beat Hopkins. If you're playing a chess game with him, pawn out, control the center of the board, if that's your game with Hopkins, he's going to beat you. He has more years playing that game than any boxer out there. He knows exactly what to do with it. So I just looked at it and I said, you have one guy who's going to come in. You have one guy who's going to press. You have one guy who has youth and strength and isn't fighting particularly bright. And then you have another guy who cannot compete in strength, who cannot compete in youth, who could not go head to head. He would not beat Boris Cloud in a phone booth. But he's going to control the timing. He's going to control the timing. He's going to do what most counterpunchers do. He's going to get a feel for his rhythm. First 2 or 3, 4 rounds, it's going to be close, and he's going to figure out what he's going to do. And he's going to do what all great counterpunchers do. He's going to figure out the pattern. He's going to read his motion pattern. He's going to take over, and then he's going to cruise. And that's exactly what happened. So, yes, it was an underdog, and a number of the ones that we make money with are underdogs. But it's not something that I want you to micromanage. Micromanage utilization of your bankroll. But don't get suckered into thinking that this is like a different kind of game. It's not. All of these are spot bets. You're not worrying about 7 or 8 games. You're just qualifying 6 out of 7. And so with underdogs this year, we definitely made a lot more than we spent on that. And we did it because we read the style, and then we backed it up with the emotional part of it. And age wasn't a factor in our determination because we hadn't seen physical deterioration from Hopkins, and so it wasn't a factor in our study, in our preparations, and it certainly wasn't a factor in the ring. I hope this helps you. I hope it makes you a little sharper. I hope you can tell me some things that can make me a little sharper. I appreciate you. Christian Shreve, bestboxingbets.com. I'm Christian Shreve, and I'm here to tell you about why I think you should own my new book, Money Boxing, which is on sale now. Money Boxing has something for everyone, whether or not you know anything about boxing. You're about to receive a backstage pass into a world of glamour, corruption, and intrigue. And you're going to learn about the system, which is the only thing the casinos have had to fear in a long time. You can own Money Boxing by clicking on the link below now. I think you'll like it.